should we talk a little whiskey?
Let's do it.
All right. I would like to give a shout out to the beautiful photo you took here. And why don't we remind real quick, Caitlin has been a big Chiefs fan all her life, apparently. She said her family always went to at least one game a year, so she said she's not a bandwagon fan. Well, it's easy to say that now, isn't it? I mean, we don't have any proof, unless there is proof that I haven't seen. I did zero research on this, but should we calm down on that?
Let's calm down on that.
I mean, we love Caitlin Clark. Don't get me wrong, but I want to see the proof. Miranda,
bring the receipts.
Bring the receipts. I brought the receipts. We won't even get into that. Anyways.
Okay, we are.
Should we talk whiskey, and why don't you tell everybody what we're drinking?
If you weren't with us at the beginning of the show, we are drinking and trying Cody Road's 2024 Distillers Edition. We do realize the chance that you can go pick up this exact bottle might be tricky, but we did want to review it anyways to highlight some of the things that Cody Road whiskeys are doing. And if you're able to find it, let you know if it's worth picking up. Given that it's a 2024 edition, it is limited. We're also currently unsure if it's available outside of Iowa, but we have done reviews on Cody Road's other whiskey. Yeah. They also make a really good RTD, ready to drink, old fashioned. That of all the ones we have tried, that one is a good one. That is one we go back to.
Yeah, for sure. We don't care for a lot of RTDs. It's like, might as well make it yourself for what you're drinking. But this one is solid.
I guess I would say there's 3 that we would recommend.
Yeah.
Cody Roads.
Yeah.
The Keeper's Heart.
Yeah, those were the 2 I was thinking of.
And the Rock and Rye.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty good too.
Yeah, those are the 3.
Yes.
We have tried others by some big brand names out there.
Yes.
Brand name whiskeys that I'm not a fan of.
No offense to Bullet. Don't like it.
Bullet's not the only one. It's
I don't remember some of the others. Bullet's the one that stands out. It comes in the big orange bottle for the old fashioned, and not a fan.
No. But anyway,
I gotta interrupt you real quick. Jamie asking, did you say Cody Rhodes, the wrestling guy? No, but I would love to get his take on Cody Road whiskey.
Yeah.
I do believe he is a whiskey fan, if I remember right. Also very involved in fantasy football. He's a good dude. Somebody showed up the newest. I mean, there's Cody Rhodes. I think his dad has the same name, maybe, or his uncle, something. Anyways, somebody went to a wrestling match and held a sign, "Would you be my best man?" And he agreed. He agreed to be his best man and go to the guy's wedding just because he saw it. I mean, he's just a good dude. Anyways, neither here nor there. Go on. Okay. You all are getting me in trouble with all these tangents.
All right. If you have listened to us before, back in the, I would say it's been a long time since we've tried a Cody Road on our show. It was early days with us.
Sure.
Then you know that, we've reviewed Cody Road before. It's made by the Mississippi River Distilling. It's not just Mississippi River Distilling.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's located on the banks of the Mississippi in the town of LeClaire, Iowa. They're a family-owned and operated company that believes in the stewardship of land and water. And the family farm is an important part of their community, their culture, and their main focus is quality. So,
not to be confused with quality.
Quality first. The Office.
I was gonna say Office reference if you don't know.
Yeah, you always have to have good quality.
Yes, quality assurance.
But back in 2010, the idea of Mississippi River Distilling started as this unique idea between 2 brothers, but the small distillery has grown into one of the top craft distilleries in the country. All grains that they use come within 25 miles of their distillery. I really like this. And they purchase right from the farmers rather than a broker or third party.
That's huge.
It is huge, very huge. And they bring in the grain in 25 bushels at a time. They do everything from the raw grain, processing, distilling, and bottling right there in their distillery. And then there's still like we've always got to talk about the stills,
Yeah.
because they're pretty and it matters.
Stills matter.
Stills matter.
That should be a shirt.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But their still is handmade in Germany, and it provides them the flexibility to make about any distillate that they decide they want to do. So it consists of a handmade German boiling pot and 2 tall copper rectification columns.
Mhm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. And the still's name, they've named it as any good distillery should do.
Agreed.
They've named it Rose.
Yeah. And it's interesting. Go to their website and take a picture at Rose,
Mhm.
but the building layout was constructed around Rose rather than put the, build their building, put put this in it. They built the building around it. And whether you're on the street outside looking in or you're having a drink in the tasting room, the still can always see you. Or you can see it. One of the two.
It's got his eyes on you.
That's right. Rose is always watching everybody.
Always.
One other thing we wanted to talk about, they also have a custom whiskey program, which I found interesting because I didn't know this. I don't know if they had this going the last time we talked about Cody
No, because
Road.
this doesn't sound familiar to me.
Yeah.
So I think it's maybe newer, but it has been a couple of years.
It has been,
like we're talking early episodes of Old Fashioned Football. We did Cody Road,
and they were nice enough to send us. I believe they sent us their rye. We had their bourbon already, but anyways, they have a custom whiskey program, so you can create your own whiskey, whether that's for your bar or your restaurant, or maybe you want to celebrate a big sports win. Maybe you took the Bills to win the Super Bowl and you put a lot of money on it and it hit and you're like, I want my own whiskey now. You can do that. It consists of a 30-gallon barrel of whiskey where you get to pick the grain bill, the yeast, the barrel, the age, the proof. You get to name it as well. And when it's done, you get all the whiskey in the barrel and the empty barrel to display, which is cool. They also sell empty barrels, or I think they sell them for 150 plus tax. So just getting that barrel that your whiskey was aged in is cool. It's $6,000 per barrel, which is lower than we've seen at some places. $3,000 payable to the distillery at the start, and then the other $3,000 is paid to a licensed retailer.
How many bottles? You get 150 bottles out of a barrel.
So yeah, their estimate for an 80 proof, because if you have a different proof,
then you
can lose more. Like if it's aged longer, you could lose more. But yeah, you get roughly 150 bottles. So breaking it down, that's like $40 a bottle. That's not bad for something you get to make
especially
yourself.
If you're thinking about a barrel, if it's not for a company or something, you go in with people. You could do your own whiskey with a group of people.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And you can create your own mash bill, or they have some already started that you can sample and be like, oh, I really like that one. And you can have that, still name it with your stuff and whatnot. And they got a ton of options for whiskeys. I'll go over some. You can cover some that I forget. But, I mean, they have their bourbon, their single barrel bourbon, their rye, their single barrel rye. They always have. They also have these flavored whiskeys, which we have the honey behind us. And it's natural flavoring. It's not like they're putting artificial shit in there. This is actually
no artificial shit.
No artificial shit. They use in their honey whiskey, they use honeycomb from a beehive, or I guess I don't know what you call a bunch of beehives, but a place that has a bunch of bees. They use honeycomb from that in
a bee farm.
Bee farm.
I don't know.
That's within a 20-mile radius of their distillery. But they have the honey whiskey, the maple whiskey, peach, and blackberry. So we have not had the maple, peach, or blackberry, I don't believe. But we have had the honey, and it's if you like sweet honey, you'll love it, because it doesn't taste like a whiskey necessarily. It's just this really sweet honey.
As opposed to not sweet honey? What do you mean?
I just mean if you like honey, I guess. Okay. If you like honey.
as opposed to sour or bitter honey.
Right.
Honey is sweet.
No. I mean, if you like honey.
Yes.
A strong honey taste. It's very,
strong.
It's a strong honey taste. What other ones am I forgetting?
They have an American malt. You didn't mention the RTDs, right?
No.
So they've got an old fashioned, they've got a Manhattan. They have an experimental series. It's aged in different barrels. They've had beer, tequila.
Yeah. I'd love to try the tequila aged one. That's just interesting to me.
No.
No.
Maybe interesting. I don't know.
I think
don't
of like a
know.
mezcal, which is like
Okay,
a
for
smoky.
maybe in a drink.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, we drink so many of our whiskeys neat.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
guess.
just thinking,
Yeah.
no, but I guess you could make an interesting cocktail with that.
Yeah, yeah.
They have it's like Iowish whiskey.
Which is, I think, 100% corn, if I remember right.
They have the Cody Road Cyclone Fanatic Bourbon. That's
Or Hawkeye fans, but we'll forgive them.
And then like coming away, like getting away from their whiskey, because with their still like they can make all kinds of distillate. So they have River Pilot vodka, River Rose gin, River Baron artisan spirit. Then going back to Iowish, they have different cream liqueurs. They have a regular salted caramel, eggnog, amaretto. They're doing a lot of different things at the distillery.
I want to try that salted caramel cream liqueur.
It's interesting.
In my coffee every morning before work.
I don't know, always do so well with cream liqueurs or just liqueurs in general.
Sure.
I have found one of the reasons why it was easy to get me on the whiskey and bourbon.
I thought you said raisins at first. One of the raisins.
One of the reasons.
And it just made me think of sorry. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, no more tangents. You're cut off. Like it's done.
Tangentless.
One of the reasons why I kind of went to bourbon, to whiskey, like, is it because it's pure. Like it's just a pure natural. It's not filled with sugars and artificial anything.
Right.
When I have like a liqueur or even sometimes a cocktail that has different liqueurs in it, it depends. You can get quality liqueurs that are natural, but like a lot of times, I don't know, I'll break out or I'll get congested. Of some sort. Like, so I've kind of, I don't break out to whiskey. I don't get all like, I can't breathe.
Thank the whiskey gods.
And then one thing, we're probably forgetting some of their products too, but they're limited edition, like limited series, which is what this is. Their distillery edition.
They got a lot of limited stuff. This is not on their website. Obviously, not all the limited stuff is, but on the bottle, and I pulled this directly from the bottle, so this is a direct quote. Every now and then, we come across whiskey in our barrel room that needs a home. Maybe a mash bill that we experimented with. Maybe one that's a little older. Maybe a barrel that finished just a little different than its siblings. You're holding a one-of-a-kind blend of some of the whiskeys presented by the distillers, a unique combination of Cody Road whiskeys in a new, never-to-be-replicated blend. And this blend is 60% rye, this particular one, 30% bourbon, and 10% malt. So it's a rye, obviously, but with some bourbon and malt in there. We'll get back to the chat in a second, but let's build a taste profile here.
I am gonna rule myself out for this because with not feeling well, like everything is off. My taste is off. I don't even know if I'm smelling correctly. So I don't want to butcher this.
That's fair.
I get a little bit of caramel on the smell, but that doesn't necessarily go with rye.
Caramel and corn, it's like the bourbon is kind of taken over a little bit. There's a little something smoky ryness to it. I don't know if that makes sense because usually ryes aren't smoky. I get that.
I'm not picking up any hint of smoke on this.
I just a faint hint of smoke and rye spice. Are your taste buds working? Let's see that. While you're doing that, I'm going to read from the chat. It's
going to be off. It is just going to be off.
Well, you taste it. I'm going to read from the chat. Jamie said, Bills aren't winning. Didn't you read the script? Andy Reid faving his old team for a three-peat. February 9th is Barkley's birthday, so he'll be playing that day. Eagles won't win, but they'll make it back next season to win it all. That's an interesting take, Jamie. I like it. I don't like the Chiefs winning, but I like where you're coming from there. Bills Commanders, let's go. I have a ticket of Bills Commanders parlayed to win each game. So basically I took it before last week's games. I took Bills and AFC champions, Commanders, NFC champions. It's like an 1,100 or 11-1 payout. And then I also have an exacta, which you can do on DraftKings. Go over there right now. Bills to beat the Eagles. And that was like, I want to say that was 16-1 or something like that. So you can pick exactas. Now I picked those a couple weeks ago before we got to this point, so those numbers won't be as good now. But I like that DraftKings lets you pick the exact. Like, let's predict the Super Bowl now. So Jamie could pick Chiefs over Eagles and see what that payout is. I like it. That's probably the best one because they're both favorites this weekend. But anyways, did you get anything on the taste of this Cody Road Distillers Edition 2024?
I think it tastes good.
No,
I like.
Tell me what flavor you're getting. Good.
Good.
I'm getting good flavor.
No, again, I get caramel. It's sweet. It tastes sweet to me.
Yeah, the rice spice is very subtle. There's not a lot there. It is sweet.
But it's 60% rye.
Yeah, I thought it was really good in the old fashioned.
I know you said you were kind of feeling off too, but like, are your taste buds intact?
As far as I know, my taste buds are intact. Did you like it in the old fashioned?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it blended really well in that. You could taste that there was good whiskey in the old fashioned, but it wasn't an overpowering taste, in my opinion. You agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get some rice spice. I don't get. I mean, there's only 10% of the
malted.
The malt. I don't get. A lot of that. Malt usually is more of like a earthy, I think, taste. Not getting a ton of that.
I don't know if I would say that that's earthy.
I would. Yeah, not a ton of rice spice. There is some spice
like
there.
Peat is earthy. No. Do you know? Yeah.
Peat is more smoky. I
don't know.
I brought up that
peat isn't smoky. No, peat is earthy.
Let's ask the Google.
Yeah, here. Google this. Malt is like malty.
Malt is malty. Okay. What does malt
creamy
grain?
Like, I don't know. Creamy grain.
What?
Nothing.
Creamy grain. Toasted caramel-like fruity flavor.
That's so not earthy.
Like processed cereal grains. See, do you not eat earthy cereal?
No. Earthy is not to say like it's dirt, but like earthy. Dirt, grass, tree bark, trees. Like, do you know what I mean? Like
peat flavors are soapy, sulfuric, medicinal, rich, smoky, aromatic, smooth, citrus, salty, nutty, diesel, and mossy. So I guess we're both right. I've never
diesel?
I was gonna say I've never tasted a whiskey that I've gone diesel.
That is and if you had, you should never drink it again.
Right.
Something went wrong.
Nor have I had a whiskey that has been soapy. Now medicinal makes me think on our whiskey wheel of flavors, Old Band-Aid is one of the things. Now I never want to, obviously that's there because somebody tasted it in something once. I never want to taste a whiskey.
Can you imagine
like
being
Band-Aid.
the distiller who's like, I'm really going for that Old Band-Aid flavor here?
I bet it was some professional that like somebody brought them their whiskey. They're like, here's your $1,600 bottle of whiskey, sir. But he had dropped his Old Band-Aid in it accidentally and fished it out.
That's a used Old Band-Aid. We're talking about just an old. He didn't say a used old, just Old Band-Aid.
I'm cracking the rye. I want to taste their rye again to kind of see. I know their bourbon is very smoky. That's one of the reasons I love their bourbon because it is so smoky. So I was just kind of curious of the rye here. See, it's a very subtle rye spice. Go ahead. And I think that's why you're not getting a huge rye coming through in this. And that the bourbon may be kind of taking it over, even though I don't get the smoky from their actual bourbon that I get. I think that's why.
That's spicy.
You think so? Why is it spicy? I don't know. It's good though.
Rain is rain and snow is snowy.
Rain is rainy and snow is snowy.
This is the same thing as like me saying Cooper Cup is Cooper Cup.
Jamie, you'd be surprised how many conversations in our household go very similar to this. This rain is rainy. No, it's not. It's just
perfect way to describe something is putting a Y on the end of it.
Right. Yeah, that's married life, right?
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I think overall, like we have really enjoyed all of the Cody Road products that we have had. I think that this is a good. I want to try it again when I feel better.
I will tell you, if you're somebody that doesn't like a lot of heat in your whiskey, This doesn't have a lot of heat. It's very smooth.
Yeah, I wasn't getting that.
But not without
I was
character.
gonna say instead of an old fashioned, we should have made hot toddies
Yeah,
tonight.
I can make you a hot toddy tonight, but you want 100 proof.
I know
for
that was
that
the
or
thing I was
more.
gonna
This
say.
is
You
80.
do want like a medicinal proof whiskey in your hot toddy.
Yeah, yeah. This one's 80. But yeah, you want that 100 proofer
Mhm.
for sure.